So as you can hear, lots of wind, unfortunately, but in one of the highest points in Sussex, it can be quite breezy up there. Heading to one of the Mad Jack Fuller's follies, which are around the Brightling area. So I've had a good long walk up there, and on my little adventure, I'm sort of having a look around and just going down these footpaths and things. And Mad Jack Fuller was, I think he was back in 1700s and something, was alive, and the rumour goes that he had a bet with somebody, which they held to him, and he had to build all these follies to kind of give him the perfect view as such, which I think he had a bet someone, he reckoned he had the best view in the land or something. Anyway, so he had the locals build some of these follies, and one of them is the castle tower. There is a pyramid in the churchyard. There is the needle up the highest point. There's also a temple and a sugar loaf. So they're all quite interesting. I will go to all of them and actually video them. And if you ever want to visit them, this is where they are, in a place called Brightling in East Sussex. The tower is really cool. I've done photo shoots here in the past. And, it's a really cool place. Well, sadly, because of its slowly deteriorating condition, the farmers put a gate on it, so you can't go in there. Not huge, but still quite a substantial structure. We'll stick here's the 360, and you can see the staircase going up. So as you can see, the staircase goes up and to a platform on the top, and then there's a ladder you can probably just about make up there on the right hand side of the metal structure there, that you can actually climb up and look through a porthole, and you can, in theory, you should be able to see Bodiam Castle from that point. But unfortunately, it's all locked off, and that ladder, even 20 years ago, was wobbly and horrible, and it's not nice in there anymore, sadly. Risk of rocks falling on your head, and even possibly the staircase falling down, stuff like that. Anyway, it's still quite a stunning place, and it just reminds me of is it Rapunzel with the let down your hair thing? It would have been an amazing photo shoot to do something like that. But as you can see there, it's still kept clear, but sadly things like the roots from this tree and stuff will probably wreck it over time. And but as you can see on the floor, all those loose rocks have fallen down over the years, so it's not a stable building in whatsoever. The staircase as you go up, even though it's on the floor, I've been up it many times, and it is a bit rickety and it wobbles around a bit, and it's sadly one of those ruins that is slowly on the disrepair. Yeah. Anyway, I am going to grab the camera out. I'm going to snap some photos. It's actually quite bloody pheasant. It's actually quite a nice light, very harsh, but at the same time we've got some cool shadows and things going on. So I'm going to take a few shots now, and see how they turn out. They might look quite cool in black and white, I think. Because of the world of Photoshop and things like that, I can actually take a photograph of this now and actually remove that gateway. So we just have the archway and the gate in there, and remove the modern gate that's actually locked to the original gate to stop people getting in there. So I got the camera out, and I actually saw all this blossomy bits falling down. You can't really see it, sadly, but I kind of started it. So I did a bit of HFR of it, and it doesn't show up quite as much as I'd hope it was, sadly. But it's always worth a go, isn't it? That was 500 frames per second. And then I spotted the young horses. So these are like young horses just eating grass, basically, and the buttercups, I presume. But they were pretty cool to watch. They were very inquisitive, and trotting around, and tried to come over to see me, but I sort of shooed them away, really, because you don't want to they're not my horses. Don't really want to get too close to them because you don't know what they're like, especially 4 of them. It was I'm not that I'm scared. I've had plenty of experience with horses over the years, but you just got to be a little bit cautious. So we're not doing too bad on the randomness. So it's done the castle tower, walking back through a long overgrown footpath, which is fine, it's not that bad. Just seen a load of horses. Oh, and a butterfly. I'm presuming cabbage white, anybody? White thing? Something like that. I don't know. Yeah, butterflies and things like that. I've just seen a kestrel, but as always, by the time you turn the camera on, zoom in on it, I've got a little bit of video, but it's facing into the wind, and the wind's coming from the east, so he was facing with bum to the west, which is a shame. I was hoping it hadn't gone very far, but it seems to have disappeared. So that's a shame. But we shall see. Anyway, horses in a buttercup field. 4 of them, quite youngish looking. Very curious on me. But got some cool photos and a little bit of video of them trotting around, which was nice. So just carrying on the walk. Done a bit of a 4 or 5 miles, something like that. I don't know, not really counted today, but I know it's quite a good distance. And about a mile to go home. So it's all good. Someone's nice little garden there, which I've looked through. Looks very pretty. In fact, that'd make quite a nice photo with the silhouettes, wouldn't it? Have the tree in the middle, something like that, and we'll take a shot. Lots of water still underground coming up still, so we've got a lot of this happening every now and again. On this little stream here, you can see it's actually quite fast flowing. I mean, it's going downhill quite a lot, so yeah, and then suddenly it's dry again. It's weird. I'm guessing this is a bit of a torrent of riverness in the winter, but there is quite a clear stream running down. So it's quite amazing. Really, but real good. That's the longest fern you can see that, guys. And a vine growing around it. Absolutely mad. Anyway, back out into the sun. So guys, out shooting with the RX10. Absolutely just game changer really in this sort of camera, because you've got so much range, and that's one of the biggest things. Obviously in good light it's extremely good quality, and as you can see here, these shots are straight out of the camera. I've just either cropped them or resized them and converted them to JPEGs. But really nice dynamic range on them, from the detail in the shadows to the highlights and everything. If you expose well, it's pretty much bang on, even the detail inside the castle tower there. This one here, so I was talking about the gate, and it's a real shame that it is there, but I obviously understand why it is, because it's not safe in there anymore, and obviously it's the farmer's land, and I guess that if someone got injured in there, you know, they could be sued or whatever. So I presume he's put the gate there to stop that, and also probably to stop sheep and stuff going in there as well. But it is pretty treacherous inside now. I mean, 20 years ago it was fine, but 20 years down the line, all those rocks and stuff, you know, they've fallen out of the walls from above. So the last thing you want is them on the head. But anyway, with the magic of Photoshop, I've removed the gate there. It took about 5 minutes just to clone tool and content aware tool and everything, just to get rid of bits and pieces, to get rid of the gate there and just replace it with details of the surrounding area. So you can do stuff like this, which is really, really quite helpful. It gives you a shot that actually looks good, rather than having an old metal gate in front of it, which is a shame. But if you've got Photoshop or another program that you like to use that you can do that with, it's easily done today. By, you know, you can even probably do it on your phone if you really wanted to. But yeah, shooting at f5.6 wide angle, and yeah, it just works. Quite a nice shot there. Just a shame this branch here was kind of shading most of the thing there. That's the hole up at the top, which is where if you climb up a ladder, you can actually look. And years ago, you would have been able to see right across to Bodiam Castle, which you know, is miles and miles away, pretty much on the horizon as such there, but it's actually slightly to the left than this shot, but it gives you a rough idea of the distance and the height we are. That's part of the reservoir lake. It's quite a nice walk around there actually, which I actually will do again soon. The castle actually is to the right of this shot as well, but it's hidden behind trees nowadays. Obviously 200 years ago there were probably less trees in the way to actually be seen. There's some young horses. These are, I'm guessing, a year old, something like that, maybe less. They were still growing, hence the ribcage showing a little bit. I did wonder, but then looked into it and I thought actually it's because they're really young. It's not like they haven't got any food. They've got tons of grass to eat. So it's just obviously the light hitting and everything like that. So if anybody's concerned, I don't think there's anything welfare issues with them. Butterfly, yeah, really good. 600mm equivalent, and shot that. This one I quite like. It's not brilliant, but it's still a bit quirky. You've got a silhouette of the fence there, and then the nice lighting from the garden. Just thought it was quite cool. And then I found on the way home, a burnt out bush. And I thought, what's that? And then there's a barn to the right that was completely burnt out. So obviously someone's had a bad fire, which was a shame. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Plenty more to come. Any questions, please ask below in the comments, and I'll happily help. And I'll see you soon.